for 2023. This is the new Kraton EXB ready to run. This is going to be probably the most advanced Kraton 6S Arrma has ever released. They put everything that they could into this car. There is nothing they left out. We're going to go over all the main features of the car and what makes it special. Now, if you notice in the background here, there's a Rolex watch, and there's a reason for that. Rolex is known for their precision watches. They're known for their quality. They're known for basically it's about tolerance, precision, and it's a very big appeal for people. So the resale value on Rolex watches are very high. This is a Submariner. If you look at the second hand, the way that moves, it's just extremely precise. The glass is very clear, very well made. The bezel is unbelievable. If you turn the bezel, you could hear the way it clicks. Super nice, a very precise watch, and the resale, like I said, the resale on these things are really good. What makes them? Let's go over it again one more time. What makes a Rolex special is the tolerance and the precision of the watch. This is basically the most precise watch you can get. And people obviously know that. They notice it. They take notice. The movement inside is unbelievable. So what does it have to do with the Kraton 6S? So this car is all about tolerance and precision. Out of all the car manufacturers that come through my hobby shop, I work on them all. I work on all the cars. I run them. I see them. I get to experience them. And Arrma is really getting to the point where they're taking precision and tolerance to the next level. And we're going to go over just right away. What will be the first thing that is just shows how much incredible detail they're putting on their cars. So let's go to the shocks. The first thing that they did was put a bleeder valve on the top cap, which is really nice. But inside the shock is a machined piston. The difference between a machined piston and a plastic injected piston is tremendous. Even though some people will say it's subtle, but it makes a big difference on the way the car handles and the way the suspension works. If you look, when you push down on the front end, you see the way it comes back up the same amount every time. That is what you call precision. That is the tolerance of the piston inside this. They really took the time and the detail to hone that and to make it the best it can be, and it really paid off. This is now a highly precise suspension system on this car. What really seals the deal, and only Arrma has been doing this, is the rubber. Notice the rubber boots on the bottom of the shock. Now, even on, let's say, a Traxxas Sledge or any other brand, they don't put boots on the bottom of their shocks. And what happens is dirt accumulates on the shaft here. It ends up getting into the shock body, and it actually hurts the movement of the car. It will limit the shock movement. It'll make it it'll make it bind a little bit. You'll hear it crunching as you push down on a shock after it's been running hard mud or dirt. That's not going to happen with this car. This car just stays super precise, and really the action of the shock just never changes as you use the car. So that is something that I really wanted to point out in the beginning of this video, because the suspension, they just really got it to be perfect. I mentioned in another video that on the Big Rock video, how good the Arrma shocks are on their cars. And if you notice, the Arrma 6S line of cars is the only line of cars where Proline did not make a power stroke shock, which is usually an improvement over a stock shock. They did not do that, and they probably will not do that in the future for this, because there's no way to improve on this shock. It's that good. These are now precision grade, I would say precision grade, ultra super precise shocks, front and rear. Just really some of the best you can get. The next thing I want to talk about, which everybody went crazy over, is the diff case. So the diff case is now aluminum, fully aluminum, and it is a big deal. It's a big deal because in the past, people have brought in cars after running them really hard, sometimes for reasons of heat, sometimes for reasons of just physical damage. The box for the differential, if it gets any type of contortion or any type of crack or any type of just wear, it's gonna affect the differential of the ring and pinion contact, and that is something that has been a problem in the past. So a company, Vidavon, they smartly manufactured aluminum gearboxes for these, and people have been buying them. But now Arrma made their own, and the thing with Arrma is, just like everything else on the car that has really good tolerance and precision, this gearbox is going to be nothing short of it's just a precise masterpiece. The box alone is a work of art. If you look at all the machine work around the box and the way that it's made, it was just done so well. And you know that you're not going to have any problems now with any type of bring-in pinion mesh at all, because there's no flex in the box like plastic has. It's not susceptible to heat because it's aluminum. It absorbs heat very nicely, and it is definitely not going to bend. It's that nice. Now, another cool thing is they used to have a plastic retainer also in their gearbox that held the sway bar, and now they have aluminum. So they also use bigger screws now. If you see, much bigger screws to hold the sway bar down. Very, very impressed with this car. Another feature that they did was they got rid of the single support bar for the center brace, and they made it into two braces, and they basically meet in the middle of the car. That is definitely going to add to the stiffness of the chassis. It's not going to allow any flex. It's probably down to, I would say, 0. Really, because it's a longer car, it's a heavy car, the fact that they went with two braces is unbelievable. On the rear brace, they went with a second screw on the bottom of the chassis. It used to be attached with one screw, and now if you see here, see that red square, the two screws in front and back of it, that now holds the rear brace. Much better for durability, and it's, like I said, it's going to make the car just more solid, more precise. Torsional rigidity definitely goes up on this thing. Another cool thing they did is the rear hubs are reinforced. The drive cups are improved and reinforced for the differentials. The servo now for this car does not need to be replaced. It's more powerful, even though it's a modest increase according to numbers. It's definitely something that you see in action. The servo just responds quicker. It looks like it's moving with more authority. You know that it's just not. It's not going to have any. It's not weak like the other one was. The original servo for these cars felt a little bit on the weaker side, and I would recommend customers to replace them over time. This one is a much better servo. It's the S665, and now they have the 25 tooth servo horn on it, up from the 23. Nobody used the 23. It wasn't common, so now they're using a common size, which is good because now you can, if you ever want to change the servo horn to another brand, it's going to be much easier. Let's go to the speed control. So the speed control, obviously, this is the V2. It's the 150 amp V2 Spectrum. Really nice. It's got two features in it. It's got the LVC features where you can adjust very precisely where your speed control cuts off. That's very important because a lot of people ruin their batteries. They run their car down way too far. And I would set mine at 3.8. If you go into the computer and you adjust the LVC, the low voltage cutoff, do it to 3.8 per cell. That's where you really want to be. You want to be a little bit on the safer side. You don't need to milk every last minute out of this thing when you're running it. So that's my take on that. As far as the other feature, it's drag brake. Drag brake is when you're driving the car, you let go of the throttle and the car applies a little bit of brake. That's used in racing situations. It's not really for bashers, but it's a nice feature to have. The other thing you want to note about this speed control is there's a lot of talk about more power coming out of it. When you give the throttle, everybody's reporting on this new speed control, you're getting more power. I think it came down to the capacitors. I think they use higher quality capacitors on this, and it definitely shows. So you're getting more punch and more of an overall feeling of increased power for this speed control. A really nice feature. So the other thing I want to talk about is the wing mount. They really improved the wing mount. We obviously lost the wheelie bar in the process. It doesn't come with a wheelie bar, but you can attach one. It's not going to be a problem. But look how nice that mount is now. Much stronger, and it's something that's likely not going to break because of all that beefiness. All right, so the one feature of the car that I'm not in love with are the wheels. So the wheels, in my opinion, are too big and heavy. They take away from all the precision that Arrma built into the car. They kind of take away from that, for me at least. This wheel weighs about 12.5 ounces. It's too big in diameter. It makes the car feel a little bit sloppy, a little bit loose when you're running it. I like more of a precision drive, and that's why I put 4S, and I recommend for all my customers to put the Arrma 4S line of wheels on the 6S car. Look at that. You have a low profile rubber. You have a lighter tire, a lighter wheel and tire. Now this, just to give you an example of the total weight savings, it's 8 ounces. If you add up all the weight savings for all 4 tires, it's 8 ounces. That's basically half a pound. Half a pound of actual weight and half a pound of rotational weight is significant on an RC car. The way that this thing drives, and I even like the backflip pattern is also better for when you're driving in dirt. I like it. Anyway, the amount of precision in the car goes up exponentially. The fun factor goes up. The wear on the transmission, the differentials, goes down significantly because you have less rotational mass, like I said, and that is going to be another benefit. Is it's gonna make the car last longer. All the customers in my shop that I've convinced to use this type of tire on all their 6S cars, none of them have complained. I didn't get one complaint. Not only that, they often come back bringing their friends to upgrade to the 4S wheel. And they also, when they rebuy a tire, they always buy the same one again. There's no need for an upgrade. There's no need for a fancy Proline wheel or tire. You go with the 4S backflips are my favorite. You put this on the 6S car. And by the way, not only does it perform better, not only is it more durable, the other feature is it looks more of a scale fit. It looks better. It works with the size of the car. It actually looks like it goes better with the car. I'm going to put them on the car now to show you what they look like. And I think you'll agree with me that it even looks... All right, so take a look on how much better that looks. It's just more symmetrical. It looks more appropriate to the scale. It lowers the car by 1/2 inch, so the center of gravity is lower. It's going to flip over less often. It's going to handle better. And look at this big tire on this thing. That looks like it's out of scale. You can't even see the wing from this angle. Look at that. It's just a big fat tire, and it really makes the car, in my opinion, clumsy. Look how high that sits off the ground, and look how nice this is. It's a big difference, huge difference. I highly recommend going to the 4S wheel. Like I said, it's gonna really just, it's gonna add it's gonna complement the precision for the rest of the car. With this tire, you're ruining all that precision that you're getting. This is a sloppy tire. It's a big and sloppy tire. We're talking about 1/2 pound of rotational weight, and that's my top recommendation for improving this car. Now, the other thing you want to consider is these mushroom screws. Even though they improved them for 2023, they're still not the best type of screws for mounting the slide plate for the motor. Often these would strip. So you can find them on eBay, or you can just do a search online on Google. They make titanium button head screws for this, M4, and you just put 2 in there and you never have to worry about it. They will never strip, I guarantee it. So that's definitely something that, the 2 improvements of the car that I would do right away are the tires and the motor slider screws. Other than that, this is basically the most improved crane ever available. There's not much you can do with it. Just go and drive it. It comes with the new DX3 radio for 2023. Everybody's happy about that. One of the main features of this radio is that you can, on the top of it, there's an open hatch for a Bluetooth chip that you can add telemetry to the car. Really nice feature of the car. Then they make actually a phone mount that goes on top of this also. So with the phone mount and the telemetry use, you can get all the parameters of the car, the voltage, the heat, the temperature, the speed, everything. It's really cool, and you should definitely look into that telemetry chip. Really nice feature of the car. All right, so the shock standoffs are now 4 millimeters. If you look at that, the size of that, my finger is right here, 4 millimeters now. It's much thicker, much more durable. You're not going to be cracking any of those anytime soon. The screw over here, right in here, was increased size to 2.5 millimeter. This used to be a 2 millimeter. Everybody would strip these out, and now that's not going to be the case. That little button head screw right there, like I said, is 2.5 millimeters. And let me just try to see if I can zoom in there. There it is. much better for getting that out, and no more stripping. So let's talk about the servo saver. You see that machined aluminum piece on it. That's improved strength, and also the design is more taken over from the 8S line of Kraton, and the servo saver and bell crank is now improved for 2023 as well. So you're not going to have that bell crank loosen up and give you problems like the old one did. Very welcome addition. The other thing that I want to mention is there's a few steel parts on the car. They have to be steel because of durability and where they are, and that is these little balls here, the pillow balls here. They're made out of a heavy steel for durability. They cannot be made out of aluminum because they would just wear too quickly. The other one is the universal shaft here. This is steel. There are companies that make these parts in titanium. If you have the extra money, I recommend looking into them. It's something that I use on my cars. The titanium will last forever. It's super light. It's almost as light as aluminum. It's definitely lighter than steel, and it'll reduce your weight, and your suspension will react a little bit quicker. It'll be nicer for handling, and obviously durability as well. So overall, this is going to be something that I would call a precision RC car now. They got to the level where they improved everything. The tolerances on this car are really incredible. The driving experience is amazing. Now, the way we got here, I just want to tell a little bit of a story, is that about 2 years ago, Traxxas came out with a sledge. The sledge, they did not make any, there was no secret about the sledge. It was directly manufactured to compete with this car, the Kraton. In fact, every feature on the car, they bragged how it's better than a Kraton 6S. And they really did hurt the sales of this car. The Kraton sales went down, and we started selling sledges. And what was incredible was the price was $700. It was $699. I didn't think they were going to sell. And the Traxxas with their marketing, and they made a great car. It sold, and it's still selling. We still sell sledges till today. So Arma really I think I would take a guess that they panicked, and they basically went after, this car is basically going after Traxxas. It's $699 just like the sledge, but you have a lot more features on it than a sledge. There are so many features on this thing, so many improvements. They're really hard to go through. They now use better gasket seals on the bottom of the differential boxes to seal out the dirt, which is a cool feature. They started using it in the Big Rock, and they continue to use it with this car. So that's now. There have been a lot of videos on YouTube, and people are commenting on the speed control, how now the speed control has no problems with overheating, and I will confirm that that is true. And like I said, I think it's because they're using higher quality capacitors, and it lends itself to being, running just a lot better, having better power dissipation, and just better power management on this ESC. It's just running a lot, very cool. There's no indication of any type of overheating, and that is definitely something that people should be happy about. So at this point, 2023, this is the car really to get. If you're into RC cars, and you're into precision, and you want something that almost every part of the car was improved about six. I think this would be the 7th version of the Kraton. If you look at it, when you study it, this is really version 7. Arma stopped counting and putting numbers on their car. Their last one was a V5. Last year's EXB would be V6, and this ready to run with all these improvements would be V7. So this is lucky 7. This is their 7th iteration of a Kraton, and in my opinion, this is the pinnacle of RC. This is going to outrun anything in the fit scale range as far as speed and agility. It'll do 65 with the speed pinion in it. Like I said, this is a car that is going to outclass every car out there in the ready to run field. Now, a lot of people are going to ask, is this better than a sledge? It's different. It's different than a sledge. I would say, like I said in the beginning of the video, the precision and the tolerance is higher. The durability, I don't know, you can argue back and forth. Everybody has their own opinion. They're both going to be durable cars. They both run great. They're both popular. Like I said, the sledge sells more. right now. This could change it, by the way. This car, if people really latch on to the and study the features and just, you know, go over every feature and just like really understand this car, they are definitely going to consider this car as a very, very, I would say, a very competent contender with the sledge. This is a precise car. Again, let's look at the precision of the machined pistons in there. Look how smooth that is and how that just returns to the same spot every time. Extremely precise. You put a pair of 4S, Outcast 4S backflips on these, and this car is going to run like nothing else. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give us a thumbs up, share the video with friends. If you want to buy from us, we have these in stock. We have a few left, $699.99. We ship to all over the country. If you have any questions about the car, call the 1-800 number, 1-800-470-8932. Ask for Mark. I'd love to answer all your questions that you have about this. I highly recommend this car, highly endorse it. It is like I said, this is the pinnacle of ready to run performance right here. I'm not sure you're going to be able to find anything that is more precise with better tolerances than this car right here. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you on the next review. By the way, the next review on this should be some running footage. We're going to take it out and run it, and I'm going to give you my opinions after I run it. And that's that. All right, we'll see you on the next review, and have a great day.